Do. Hi, guy, Dr. YouTube.
Black Lives Matter protesters entered the study hall at the university and began to essentially assault students. They came in, started shouting in
Yeah,
people's
black lives
faces,
don't matter when they're
while
like
Black Lives
this.
Matter attempting to raise awareness for the movement. However, some of their actions completely crossed the line. Here's some of the things that they were saying and doing. Fuck you, you filthy white fucks. Fuck you and your comfort. Fuck you, you racist shits.
They're the most racist.
If we can't have it, shut it down, they cried. Another woman was pinned to a wall.
And why ain't they
by
fighting the
protesters
cops?
who unleashed their
Why do they got to
insults,
fight the people that are trying to
shoving
study?
a bitch in her face.
Man, you guys are protesting the wrong people. They matter, but stupid people like you don't matter.
Congratulations, Black Lives Matter movement. You've managed to lower yourselves to the level of male street harassment against women. Now, these actions were completely uncalled for. This was actually very counterproductive. One important thing to keep in mind here is what benefit is there gained from interrupting study hall where people are trying to learn? Not just white people, but people of color as well. It serves no purpose. And in fact, these protesters were actually attacking the people who were most likely to be their allies, white liberal college students, which is counterproductive. If this was really a tactic that they wanted to carry out, why not attack the power structures? Like, say, protest the police, go harass the police, or harass politicians who make the policies of a white supremacist system. But these activists chose not to do that. Well, why not? Well, for one thing, Black Lives Matter already announced their solidarity with Police Lives Matter. So it'd be kind of counterproductive to protest people that you've already announced your solidarity with. I mean, Black Lives Matter was created as a response to black people being killed by the police.
No, I know.
So you'd think that they would want to protest the police, the people carrying out the worst of the crimes against black people. Or maybe they would go after the politicians who create the policies that suppress African Americans. But no, they didn't do that either. In fact, they're having closed-door meetings with various politicians. So let me get this straight. They're not going to go out and protest, get in the face, and be aggressive with the people who carry out the overt depression, but instead they're going to go harass, threaten, and degrade people who are most likely to be their allies. This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. On one level, these actions might have made sense if, say, they were
And all lives matter. We're all brothers and
completely
sisters.
tear down the entire system,
We're all kings and queens.
erase the whole thing and build a new one. But that's not what they are. They're a protest movement. They're reformers. They're
You're
looking for
black.
people to
I
support
think
them
we're
to
all
reform
kings
the
and
system.
queens. So what do you think?
So,
Do you think we're all kings and queens? Or do you think you're just a king and queen?
who are most likely to support them, but they're not going to attack the white supremacist power structure that actually exists. Instead, they're showing solidarity with the police who carry out the killings and backdoor meetings with the politicians who make the decisions on what the policy is. So essentially, they've reduced themselves to literally attacking people who have the least amount of power to do anything about the system whatsoever, and to attack the people who would have been their allies. One more point I'd like to make, and that's this is a reason why a central leadership of a movement is necessary, because that way you don't have small contingents that are going off and doing crazy things like this. In fact, other Black Lives Matter protesters condemn this, saying, you know, what a terrible thing it was to do. When you don't have a core leadership that gives direction and guidance, you end up with completely ridiculous situations like this. Now, I've said before that the Black Lives Matter movement was something that was already completely meaningless. Once they had allied with the police, they had completely sold themselves out, or rather, the black population of the United States. Now, this is one more symbol of its complete uselessness and ineffectiveness, and why you really need to tear down the entire system and build a new one if you want anything to fundamentally change. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of them, then head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you can go to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but
And simplicity and the art of appreciation. The Survey Group of Long Realty now offers free.
that's the trip. With a Black Lives Matter there, and I'm probably here to see.
You mean they vow to attack white people and folks in restaurants over a questionable police activity? You mean they vow to make it racial, even though Baltimore, if, to a great extent, is basically black run, just like Chicago to many extents? This is done because of the racial politics of the Democratic Party. There are problems with the police. There are issues with the police being militarized, like Marine Corps. The military is designed to kill people and break things. So if you militarize police, they're going to use excessive force more often. You're going to have some departments that are out of control. But why is it constantly Democratic Party run cities like Chicago and Baltimore and New York City and DC, where you see some of the most egregious black cop on black violence, but that never becomes a big news issue? The system wants us at each other's throats, period. And randomly shooting a cop in the head because a white cop shoots a black guy, or going in restaurants and attacking white people because they're white.
You understand, guys?
What it makes is racial politics, divide and conquer.
And that's the whole thing. Is if you look at let's go to West Point and they'll talk to you about you never split your army, never. There's times you could, but never split them because you're all anyway. Besides going into the numbers, you're gonna lose, and that's what they're doing to us. They're dividing us by race, religion, so we will fight against each other instead of fight against the oppressing government. All right, guys, talk to you later. Check it out.